ABS, stability track, traction control, all the little nannies your modern day car comes with that makes you look like a better driver than you truly are. What do I think about all this stuff? Is it a good idea to shut it all off for the track, or is it a bad idea? Good question. And what do I do? Talking about it. Be honest about it. Well, get it out of the way. What do I do? What do I run? The answer is I do not run with stability track on or traction control. But yes, ABS, you're damn straight. There's one thing I will never disconnect or never even comprehend of not doing, and that is running a car without ABS. I do not have the brake discipline to drive a car, especially on street tires, with not having ABS to save my butt. I don't have it. It's a skill I don't have, and yeah, I'm not gonna even semi kid myself that I can make it without it. Stability track, the answer is no, I don't use it for different reasons. The main reasons I don't use stability track is it's hard on your brake pads and brake rotors. That's one of the functions the car does, is it uses your brakes, your pads, and engaging an inside brake, outside brake, rear end brake, to turn the car, to keep it under control. It can tell, has all these little fine sensors to see where your gas pedal position is, where your wheel is turned to. It guesstimates what you want to do. And to do that, it overheats your brakes. Now, when I say overheats, that means in a general car's terms, more high performance a car, the better the brakes are, the better the rotors are, the ability to handle that kind of extra heat. But if you're like me and you're cheap as hell and you're like, I want these brake pads to last as long as humanly possible, well, you got to shut it off. That's just the way it is. If it's raining, damn straight, I leave that stuff on. I do not, especially in the rain, want to go off the track. It's bad enough when you go off the track and it's dry, as far as dirt, dust, and pebbles. You go off and through the mud, oh my gosh, you're cleaning your car for like months, and then you're still driving it and pieces of mud are falling off of who knows where, bouncing down the road, and you're like, what the hell? And you thought you cleaned it a million times. With that being said, what do I think the average Joe, somebody who's starting off, been doing it for a few years, or even more, do I think that people who run ABS and track control or stability track are idiots, or posers? And the answer is no, I do not. To be honest with you, I'm all for stability track and traction control and all that stuff. Main reason, man, cars are just too goddamn fast. They're just too fast. They're too fast and powerful. It's one thing if it's 1984, you have your IROC Z Camaro, and you're out there, you're cranking out 190 horsepower, 223 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, you're not gonna need it. Even your 80s 911s, you can pretty much run without that stuff and be all right. But nowadays, with the modern car, where literally you could take a modern day Focus ST, take it back to the 80s, to a supercar shootout, and pretty much spank 99% of all cars. Cars are they're ripping. I mean, you can get Camrys with like 300 horsepower, Toyota Camrys. I mean, minivans. I mean, that stuff used to be a thing of dreams back in the 80s and even into the 90s. It wasn't until like the late 90s that stuff started to really change. Now you can get Mustangs and Camaros with pushing almost 500 crank stock, and with some mild little tweaking, easily get the crank horsepower over 500, get close to 500 to the wheels. Man, you're talking a different level now, and that's cheap cars. Think of 911 GT3s or twin turbos or McLarens or Lamborghinis or anything like that. The power is unreal what you got. Now, here's a little factor. I hate people spinning out in front of me. I hate it. I know people don't want to do it, and I don't want them to do it either. And I like to rip around, and I like to get close to make the move on somebody, and I really like the idea of that car not turning into a land missile running who knows which where, like a bottle rocket with the stick broke off. bouncing around the track and then hopefully not into me. And traction control, stability track keeps that from happening. That is the key thing. It keeps it all from happening. It makes the car turn and go straight. You go to a modern day track, and I had a friend, chick actually, who came with me, who was at the track, and one of the only times I ever brought a girl to a track, and I'll never make that mistake again. She noticed that the age of everybody, that it's pretty much a geriatric center at the racetrack. Now, if you're into planes and you go to like a general aviation hangars area, you'll see the same thing. It's all these older guys, but why? Because they have the money to play. So, guy's been busting his balls his whole life, and now he has some money, and he bought a fast-ass car that he always dreamed about. And now he's taking it to the track. Now you got to look at it two different ways: car guy way and race car way. Race car guy is like, yeah, you can pretty much do anything you want and not suffer the repercussions driving that car around. But if you look at the car guy aspect, is somebody's bought a badass car, he's actually taking it to the track like it was designed to do, and wants to go out and have a fun time. And trust me, if you're going and taking your new car that you just bought, you say you got a little bit of money, say you're like, think of a Corvette owner. Most Corvette owners are like 69 years old on average, I think, or 67 or something like that. Look, I've seen it. I've personally witnessed. Saw a Z06 Corvette show up on Pirelli slicks with probably a 77, 78-year-old man driving it. Just starting off, just first time to the racetrack, blah, 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 going out there. You think I'm happy that he has stability track? You're damn straight. I'm fucking happy he has stability track. And he's happy the car has stability track. Why? Because if that car didn't have any nannies whatsoever, and he went out there, it would literally be a death sentence. Literally. It's like, this car will bite you. It will put you into a barricade at Mach 5, and but you'll hit that barricade before you even knew what happened. And stability track control makes the car way more enjoyable. And that's what I think of. When I have a friend who's been bugging me he talks to me all the time. He's getting ready. He's ready to go to the track. He's been bugging me. It's all he wants to talk about, which sucks because they're more work-related friends. And I'm like, let's just talk about what we have to deal with at work right now. We can talk cars later. He has a Hellcat Challenger. And so he says this is the year he's going out there. Do you think I'm telling him that, hey, before you go out there in your nice Hellcat, shut off all your stability track control, everything, and go have a good time? No, I'm not telling him that, because I want him to be able to drive home at the end of the day on his own, not on some tow truck crying himself to sleep at night that he just destroyed his car. To me, modern day sports cars, fast supercars, they wouldn't even exist on the market. We wouldn't even be allowed to own them if it wasn't for stability track and track control. They actually make the cars drivable, and they save countless lives every day. Bring it to the track. I think guys who buy these cars should be able to enjoy them, and bring them to the track and enjoy them. And stability track makes that happen. And it makes it so somebody can bring their car and have a good old time at the track, ripping around, scaring themselves, because it'll still scare you. But at the end of the day, they're not crashing into me. They're not crashing into you. They're not crashing into the wall. So they're not stopping the track to scrape him off so we can keep running laps and everybody can have a good time. And you can drive semi-close quarters with the person, not being scared out of your mind. Because remember, some of these cars, like the big Camaros, ZL1s, even Porsches, they have so much power that they literally had no stability track. Guys would be just crashing on the straightaways. We've all seen the videos on YouTube of people shutting off their track control, leaving cars and coffee, putting it into a crowd, or some supercar guy shuts off his systems, hits the gas going down a straight road, and then immediately right into a telephone pole. I mean, we all know it. And stability track makes people be able to enjoy this very expensive toy they bought. And remember, people's cars, they love them. It's like an extension of themselves. So the idea that you can actually enjoy it without dying is, to me, a good thing. So it's funny. You go to the track and your complaints are, I wish so-and-so would have got out of my way. They're blocking me, or man, I can't believe I'm wearing out tires, or going through this much gas, or whatever. The small complaints of every track day. It's a hell of a lot better than looking at your car just crumpled up into a pile of goo. I mean, it's just a bad thing. So that's my thing. It's just like, run it, drive it, enjoy it, leave the nannies on. And as you get better, you've done years now, back it off to a point where maybe you become an expert driver, then try shutting it off. But to do it in the beginning, look, it's one thing to go to autocross and do it. It's a whole other world to do it at the racetrack. You're talking speeds that are much, much higher. So what happens when the speeds are much, much higher? The consequences are much, much higher. It's funny how fast you can go backwards through dirt, even with your brakes locked up solid. Always blows my mind. Sometimes I swear to God, the times I've gone off the track, I swear that I hit the dirt and I picked up speed. Yeah. So yes, am I for it? Yeah, I'm for it. Leave it on.